it's Carol from Sew Carol. Welcome to Friday Sews. Friday Sews was the brainchild of Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room. So thank you so much for creating this amazing sewing YouTube community from across the world. So that's fantastic. And if you want to find any of the other Friday Sews contributors, if you just type in Friday Sews into the YouTube search, many will come up. So thank you, Jen. I must tell you that I typed in, a bit of vanity maybe, I typed in Sew Carol into the YouTube search to see what came up. And the hilarious thing was, Oh Carol was the top, the song by Neil Sedaka was the top search result. And that is a song that's haunted me my whole life. So you had Neil Sedaka, Oh Carol, and then my Sew Carol sewing. So that was hilarious. I'm going to have to learn to embrace it, clearly. So what did we do last week? Well, I went on that sewing trip to the My Sewing Box, which is in Dorset, and my daughter and I went. It's an online store mainly now, but they do open every sort of 2 to 3 months. So we actually got a chance to look around fabric, and it was fantastic because it's a small warehouse crammed with fabric. And you're very lucky in America, I know, because you have many of these shops, but we really don't. So my daughter and I went along, and although she doesn't sew, she loves looking at fabrics. And I must admit, we spent a fortune, for good reason, of course, and everything is justified, as we can always justify every fabric purchase we make. So I'll just have a quick show you what we bought. It's a lot. First of all, I just bought 2 bits of fabric for my grandsons just to make t-shirts from. This is for the older grandson who loves dinosaurs. What boy doesn't at the moment? And this is my 18-month-old grandson who just says car, car, brum, brum all the time. So he's going to love that. And what I'll do with that is just I've made this t-shirt many, many times, all different sizes. It's a really good t-shirt pattern. And then for the other one, I think I might move on to the Burda pattern. That looks a bit older for him because now he's 5. So that was that. I picked up 2 more bits of jersey. My daughter loved this. This is a really lovely soft cotton jersey. It's got a bit drape as well. She liked that. And we both fell in love with this one, which is quite often the case, that we both fall in love with exactly the same thing. So I'm going to make 2 t-shirts out of that. She wants me to recreate a t-shirt that she bought in a shop, which is quite a boxy t-shirt, but it has a peplum bottom, sort of gathered. So I'm not quite sure the proportions I need to cut extra to make the gathered effect. So I might do a dummy run on another one. So I'm going to do it with these 2 and then just do a normal t-shirt for myself. The next thing I got was this mountain of huge fabric. It's 5 meters. I don't think I've ever bought 5 meters before. And yes, it's not very subtle, but it's Disney fabric. Now, we love Disney in our family, and my daughter and her family are going to go to Disneyland Paris. It's a surprise for the 5-year-old, but they're going in October, and she wanted me to make her some matching t-shirts. They have to be long sleeve t-shirts. Ideally, it would have wanted to be sweatshirts, but I cannot get Disney sweatshirt fabric in the UK. So I have 5 meters to make the whole family sweatshirts. And I had to get extra because I think placement is going to be an issue. I'm going to have to make sure they've got characters on the front and not just like a head of a character or an ear of Pluto. So that's why I bought extra. And of course I can always make something myself out of there. The only thing I actually got for myself apart was this lovely linen. And it's this beautiful, it's not subtle, it's a almost jungly pink palm, but it's a nice linen. For me, it would be too much as a dress. So I'm just going to make a top because it's got a bit of navy in it and it'll go really nice with a navy pair of trousers. So, and that's going to have to be quite a basic-y top. So that's kind of all I got for myself. I've just got a mountain of fabric for everyone else. So that was really great. So what did I finish last week? I finished my linen dress, that one. It was 6619, and I did just put a hook and eye on the back in the end because everybody gave some brilliant comments saying put something on the inside, don't worry about it, and they're right. My hair covers it anyway, so I don't know why I'm so concerned about choosing which button to goes on the back. So that was finished. That was good. I also made the stripy t-shirt, which I still love this fabric. Newlook 6246. I can't read backwards. Such a simple make. I actually insert the, I think a lot of you probably do the same, but if I'm doing jersey in a t-shirt now, I don't ease the top. I don't sew the sleeve and then ease the top and ease it in. I actually sew it in flat and then sew the whole of the sleeves and the side seam as one. I find with jersey you can kind of wrangle that and it works. It's a bit old school, I think, isn't it, to gather and ease. So I did that, so that's great. I didn't have enough fabric to make another t-shirt out of it, so I'm going to do what I always do if I have some leftover jersey. So I've got a fair bit. I'm going to make these, the acacia knickers, which I tend to do with leftover jersey, but that's way too much information. My daughter's dress, really pleased with it. It didn't require much to make it better. It did have a line of elastic around the waist which served no purpose whatsoever. It wasn't even protecting the seam, it was just sewn along the top of outside of the seam. It was crazy. So all I did was close up that seam allowance, make a channel, and then feed in the elastic through it, and then you could bring it in. That made it so much better. I got rid of the back wing sleeves, as you can see, and it's not my best bit of sewing, I have to say, but it will do the job. And brought it up, cut a chunk out, and it made quite a nice flatter sleeve. So I was actually quite pleased with that, and I didn't need to alter the front because it sort of brought it in on the sides as well. So that's great. So she can now have that, and she can wear it. So that was good. I also made my dog's cushion cover, which I've been on about for a long time. As you can see, I think he likes it. I did the most awful bit of applique sewing of the M on it because it was so plain and so dark. I felt it needed brightening up, so I did that. But quilters out there will just look at that and think it's horrific. But so I did that. I didn't put any zip in. I just did sort of an envelopey fold, long bit of fabric, fold, overlap, and then you can get the cushion easy in and out. I like to say that I don't put a zip in because it's not safe for the dog, but it's actually because it's a lot easier and quicker to do. At the end of the day, he's probably going to chew it anyway, so I don't want to take too much care with it. So what else happened this week? I had my birthday this week. I got my new mannequin, and thank you for all your comments about mannequin. I think everybody was more or less in agreement that keep the two mannequins. And somebody said, put one for your daughter's size, put one for yours, and then you've got the two, and that's genius. So that's what I'm going to do. The new mannequin name is Olivia in the box, so I'm going to keep that as the name. The old mannequin I never named. Now, I am a massive fan of the Waltons. That is my guilty pleasure TV, my guilty TV pleasure. So I'm going to name the old mannequin Esther because she was the grandma. So we have Olivia and Esther Walton. There won't be many more mannequins or 7 children or whatever they had. So, but no, so that was good. I had a couple of lovely things on my birthday as well. Sometimes the best things don't always have to cost a lot. My daughter actually spent half an hour in my sewing room with me, and she let me rabbit on about fabric and patterns and get my stuff out. And not many of my family actually brave into my sewing room because there are pins everywhere on the floor. In fact, I used to have a sign, caution sharp objects, on the door because I have carpet there and they just find their way in. I don't know how they do it, but so that was great. She spent half an hour in there. She put her life at risk, her feet at risk, and she came in with me, so that was great. And the second thing was my son is currently on holiday in South Carolina, and he actually they were in a bar, and I managed to find them on webcam, and he gave me a wave. So that was amazing. See, great things don't cost a lot, do they? Now next week, I'm sure as you know, in the UK, there's a very special event happening. It's the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Now, my family are doing things. My daughter's singing in local fair, and my husband's playing in his amateur band in the fair, and I was doing nothing for this Jubilee. So I had a bit of a Jubilee panic and I thought, what can I do? I'll make bunting. I always make bunting for something. So I thought, I quickly looked up some fabric that I could get quickly and I managed to get hold of some bunting fabric. Now, as you can see, my husband said this is cheating because they're actually shaped in triangles already. So I just need to cut out the triangles. I do normally do them double faced, so back to back. If I get it done, I'll show you next week, but I don't sort of seam them and turn them inside out. I just tend to do back to back. I sew around the edges and then I pink the edges just to make the raw edge look a bit nicer. So that's hopefully going to be done. And what I do along the top normally is just use a bit of twill tape and just double it over and then put them in. So I don't know how much it's going to be, but I'm going to do that next week. See, normally I have to use my trusty bit of cereal box to cut out the triangles. Funnily enough, it's more or less the same size. But so my trusty bit of cereal box doesn't have to be used this time round. So that's it. I think that's going to keep me busy. I'm going to try and make a start on the t-shirts if I've done the bunting by the Jubilee, which the celebrations start next Thursday. Then hopefully I can start on my daughter's t-shirts with that gather bottom. Thank you very much for watching. I just want to wish everybody in America, hope you have a lovely Memorial Day weekend. And thanks for joining me, thanks for watching, thank you so much for commenting. It's been fantastic chatting to you all. Thank you to all the Florida ladies and everybody else that supported me and all the other YouTubers that I've been watching. You're just fantastic. It's just amazing to be part of this community. So thank you and hopefully catch you next week. Goodbye. I do have a question for everybody. When I was cutting out my t-shirt, and I make a lot of things as you know, I still cut out my notches in the little triangle. Now I know there are more professional ways of doing it, but I wondered how many of you out there doing the same thing as me, properly cutting the little double notches and the treble notches out of your fabric. So let me know what you're doing. That would be really great in the comments.